Hello everyone and welcome for joining me. Guys, honestly, I can't believe how quickly the hours are flying by in the day. It seems like 2 minutes ago I did the last video this morning, and well, since this morning was happening and I was trying to run around for that microphone, and then I looked at my watch and I was like, wow, is that what time it is? So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is this news that's just come out that 36,000 migrants have been lost. Now, these are migrants, as I understand, that have been earmarked for the so-called deportation. So let's just think about those numbers again. 36,000 have been lost and they've gone somewhere. So we now basically have 36,000 people who don't know who they are. They're not documented. They can't claim any housing benefits. They can't claim anything. So where are they going? Who's looking after them? How are they surviving? Are they living wild in the woods? Are they just like the new cavemen? Where are these people? What are they doing? Now, there's two things, excuse me. There's two things I'm thinking about here straight away. First of all, I'm thinking these guys have probably gone into criminal gangs. And the second thing I'm thinking of is these guys are going to be exploited, as slave labor. And I think it's really sad that this is happening, but really. And I think it's all down to just absolute failings hand over foot by the government. And I think the problem that we have in this country is this career politician thing, So basically, we have people come straight out of university, liberal woke universities, and they go straight into politics. Now, they have no concept of reality and they're not practical people. Their thoughts and their ideas have been molded by professors, you'd like to think. And those professors don't actually do anything. They just, lounge about eating grapes or whatever, but they don't actually do anything practical. What I mean by practical, they don't run a company where they have X, Y, and Z to deal by a certain deadline, and you have to make compromises here and you have to make a compromise there, and if you make a mess there, then it's going to shoot you in the foot down the line. So they're the type of people who are molding our politicians' thoughts, molding their personalities. So when they leave university, they have a very particular, a very defined concept of reality. Now, I can bring some politicians to come and live with me for a couple of weeks, and and I'll take them round, our local town centre in Rotherham, and I'll ask them, is mass migration working? Is their woke agenda working? This levelling up, if you live in the north of England, tell me, is levelling up working? I mean, I can go on about this for absolutely hours. Basically, we've been promised money in the north to level up. We've been promised HS2 that's being cut. And it just seems like that, the north of England, or the North Midlands certainly, it's just like, I don't want to use the word dumping ground, but it seems like a place that people can be, people are happy to go there and just be kept quiet. Now, sorry, going back slightly to the topic of this video. So the 36,000 migrants that have gone missing, that are lost in British society. Now this, and I'll put the link to this video in the description. But this is a low estimate because these figures only go back 2 years. I think it's 2 years these figures go back. So it could actually be a lot more, and it probably is. So, like I said, where are they? What are they doing? Are they in criminal gangs, and are they, in the modern slave trade? So. If you remember the videos I've done, I think this week, or certainly in the last 7 days, I've talked about foreign nations. Now, instead of sending the James Bond type, saboteur or Asian provocateur or whatever, into a foreign country, it's a lot easier, cheaper, cost effective, and you get better results by just paying local thugs, crime gangs. Now, 36,000 people who are missing in the system. Is it beyond, just go with me here guys, is it beyond the realms of possibility that some of those people may not share British values? Is it beyond the realms of possibility that some of those people may not feel an affinity with the UK. And, you know, they may, I don't know, throw litter on the floor or something. Or, God forbid, do something worse. So, they could potentially be the type of 36,000 people that have gone missing. Now, if we say 1% of those want hostilities to the UK, that's 3,600 people that want hostilities to the UK, that need money, that would probably, you know, if somebody gave them money, they would probably carry out a certain act. Now, these acts could range from anything to taking pictures of a power station, taking pictures of critical infrastructure, to bursting a water main, or it could be even worse. But what I'm saying is we now have a potential force inside the UK that we don't know where they are. We've no way of finding them. And as we can see from my previous videos, these people are highly susceptible. These people are highly vulnerable to being given money to carry out such acts. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Do you think those people could be given money to do, you know, potentially, you know, saboteuristic attacks onto the UK? I don't know. Maybe it's just me being paranoid and spending too much time in the military and thinking about these things. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And the other thing is what's happening. Yeah, so what's happening in Ireland? And I'll put the links into this in the description. Now, Ireland just wants to be Irish. So there's thousands rallying in Ireland against the wave of migration into Ireland. Now, tell me, has Ireland just become racist overnight? Or, you know, are they nationalists now? It's very interesting when you talk about Ireland, because if you look back through history, nobody was worse than the Irish immigrants when they went to America. Absolutely nobody. You know, they were really bad. So to try and say that the Irish are racist and they're anything but a nation that's had its own history on the what's the word I'm looking for? A nation that has had its own history with problems with, you know, famine, problems with poor people, problems with being segregated when they go to another country. You know, you can't really have that argument with Ireland. Yes, of course, you can have the argument with, you know, the United Kingdom. I mean, you know, that's well documented. But when you start saying the same things that you say about the English and about the British, when you start saying that to the Irish, it kind of loses credibility because there is none, and you can't really use those same arguments like saying they're right wing and they're colonialists and they're, you know, and all this. You can't have that argument with the Irish. So why is it then that the Irish are out on the streets in their thousands protesting? I don't know. You know, I don't really know enough about it. Tell me what you think in the comments. If there's anybody watching this and you are Irish, let me know what you think. What is the real reason that the Irish are out on the streets protesting? Is it because they're all, you know, is it because they're all racist? Is it because they're all colonialists and white supremacists? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, all right? Because I don't know, and I'd love to explore this further. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, guys, before I go and have my dinner, kind of ties into everything we've been talking about today. So, Ukraine arrests 2 colonels over plot to kill Zelensky as a gift to Putin. So remember earlier on in the previous video, we was talking about this MOD hack. Excuse me. This MOD hack and how, you know, how one thing can lead to another. You get people's bank account details. You know if they're gambling. You know if they're paying. You know if they're going through a divorce. You know if they're cheating on their wife. There's so much you can get through, you know, from bank details and from bank statements, etc. So once you've got this information, you can then identify the exposed people and the vulnerable people, and then you can put your, you can put your attack in. You can say, okay, right, listen, guys, we've got, and I'm not saying this is the case in Ukraine, but this is how you could do it. You could say, hey guys, we've got 2 colonels here and they have close proximity with senior politicians in Westminster. You could then use them as an in. You could use them then as, to put pressure on these politicians. And this whole game of espionage and cloak and dagger, you know, it has, you know, it's changed so much. And, you know, the images of like these James Bond figures, you know, cruising around with tuxedos on is, you know, it's ridiculous. 9 times out of 10, these people are going to be paid. They're going to be paid by a foreign adversary. They're going to be paid a little bit of money. I mean, like 5-10 grand. That's a little bit of money, you know, when you think about, you know, the grand scheme of things. 5-10 grand, and then they're going to slowly be groomed. They're going to have to do more and more, and the more you do for these people, the more you have to do, because the more dirt they've got on you. And here it comes out in this article that, you know, the two colonels who are, you know, clearly high ranking, they had a plot to kill Zelensky as a gift to Putin. So had they had their you know, their accounts hacked and been identified as vulnerable people? Have they been given money? What is the subcontext of that? The reality is we're not going to know. We'll never know. I just thought it was an interesting article to bring out to the foreground to let you guys know how this works and that it's real and it's really happening now. And the articles that I'm sharing with you guys are letting you know it's coming. So what I'm saying in this video is I feel there's a ridiculously high chance of things starting to stop working in the UK, and this will be down to saboteurs. You know, fires in woodlands that are around electrical plants, water systems. I always harp on about the water systems, guys. They're so vulnerable. Airport security going down. All sorts of these things. I mean, you're only limited by your imagination, but I see the reality of all these things happening this summer as, you know, the tensions globally ratchet up. Guys, it's been great doing this video today. I've really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out when you do that. And it's literally just a little button for you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.